Hello, all of my friends at Sanlam Insurance, my lead partner in a revitalized South Africa. This is John-hope-bryant. I'm the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope. Today, I'm your proud partner in a movement that I think will transform the lives of everyday people in South Africa and serve as a beacon of hope for the entire African continent. You've been asked to consider being Hope Corps volunteers as tied to our signature partnership with Sanlam Insurance. I am asking you to consider something a little different. I believe that this is not about you teaching a child or an adult the language of money or financial literacy alone. I don't think this is about you going into an underserved community. I don't think this is about you doing anything for anybody else. I think it's about you. I think this is an opportunity for you to leave a legacy. How many times do you think about your place in this world, your purpose in this world, that you don't want to just be somebody who's living to pay your bills or going through the motions, that you sit and watch television, you see all the challenges that are out there in a country that you love, with people that you care about, and you want to do something. What if I suggested to you that this was exactly your opportunity to do something, to leave a legacy, to live for something larger and more important than yourself, to change a life, to change the world? It happened to me when I was growing up in South Central Los Angeles. A banker came in my classroom and an insurance professional followed him who happened to be Caucasian. It didn't really matter, even though this was a black inner city neighborhood. He had on, I remember, a blue suit and a red tie and a white shirt. And I remember him talking to us about the language of money, financial literacy. I remember him unpacking free enterprise and capitalism. I remember the endorphins firing in my head as I began to understand what he was explaining to me. And I had never before that saw a white man in my neighborhood. I hate to be this blunt, but I think that the illustration will carry forward, so just be patient with me. I never saw a white man in my neighborhood, a black neighborhood, with a suit on unless he was a police officer. So here was a businessman, a professional. And I remember saying to him, man, what do you do for a living? And how'd you get rich legally? What do you do? And when he unpacked that for me and he told me that he was in this honored profession, and he explained to me the way free enterprise and capitalism work, again, my endorphins started cracking off and firing in my head. I got so excited. I started my first business, the neighborhood candy house. And I made enough money to put the liquor store, if you can believe it, the liquor store sold candy in my neighborhood, put the liquor store out of the candy business. Actually put the liquor store out of business. And at 10 years old, the dreams and hopes and desires of who I could be and what I could do were born. And that banker will always be a hero to me. That insurance professional will always be a hero to me. The ladies that went into the classroom also in my school, I'm sure the little girls were sitting there saying, wow, I can be you. And all the lights came on in those little girls' heads. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. To be broke is economic, but to be poor is a disabling frame of mind and a depressed condition of your spirit, and you must vow never, ever, ever to be poor again. I think that many of the people that we are talking about are not so much broke, but they're more poor. They get up and go as got up and went. They don't believe that the dream will work for them. But when they see you and you've taken time and given them attention, then not only are you explaining something that they didn't understand, giving them a tool that they desperately need to live in this world, but you're giving them dignity. Ubuntu, as they say in South Africa. I am me because you are you. And so the 20th century was about race and the color line. And Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu, our partners there in South Africa, amongst them, really came out with the power for people, which was the right to vote. And in Ireland, it was Michael Collins, and in India, it was Gandhi, and in southern states in America, it was Dr. King, and it was my hero, Ambassador Andrew Young, our global spokesman. But all that commoditized in the hands of people, it empowered them with the right to vote. That's how they changed things in the 20th century in a political environment. But right when we think we understand that, right when America gets a black president, all the rules change. And I believe the 21st century is about the economy. Civil rights, yes, in 20th century, but civil rights in the 21st century. But we have an entire generation of young people who don't understand the language of money. And I believe, and adults, if you don't understand the language of money today, and you don't have a bank account today, or an insurance account, or a credit union account, you're an economic slave. So we need to empower people with the tools to have financial dignity, to have dignity for themselves, to take care of their responsibilities, to live in this complex world that we have today where everything seems to be about money and the economy. Greece's problem is not more freedom, it's too much debt. The EU, the European Union's problem is not more voting rights. Their issue is not enough GDP growth. China's dominance is not because they're nicer people, even though they're not nice. It's that they are an economic powerhouse, at least so far. And cities across the world are having the same problem. They're broke economically. It's an economic issue. Number one cause of divorce is money. Number one cause of domestic abuse is money. Number one reason that minority kids drop out of college is not academics, is money. And you hold the key to change somebody's life. But you also hold the key to change the way they see themselves in this life. And that's changing the world. That fundamentally shifts the way somebody sees themselves and see their possibilities, and then all things are possible. Think about how you got to where you are today. Think about the heroes and sheroes and mentors and role models and parents and professionals that you saw that said, and when you saw them, you said, I can do that. I can be you. And maybe one of them actually helped you, because anybody who gets a certain level of the professions is no longer about just filling out an application. Somebody had to vouch for you. So think about some of these young people you're going to meet, and they might even become good interns. Maybe Sanlam will start an intern program and create business interns and business mentorships down the road with some of these young bright lights, and begin bringing that energy inside the company and really transforming a new South Africa. And I believe as South Africa goes, the rest of the continent goes. You guys are the biggest on the continent. So you have the opportunity to do well and do good, do well by doing good, but it's all about the people. Sanlam Insurance is about you. It's about you. And now you have an opportunity to be a living, breathing billboard for what Sanlam is all about. Its integrity, its values, its virtues, but also your own. You've got a chance to change the world. This is a time for a new movement. I believe without any hesitation that the new civil rights issue in the world is financial literacy. And the new civil rights movement is a movement for financial dignity for all. And you have the opportunity to be a civil rights soldier in that movement as history tells our story. So I want to thank you. I'm sorry I'm not there with you, but I am there with you in spirit. And I hope you are inspired enough to sign your name on the dotted line and make a commitment to do this, and to encourage 3 of your friends to do the same. One person can change the world. Be that one person. Ubuntu. I am me, because you are you. God bless.